So the questions really come down to two. Can any AI generated content, AI assisted or not, ever get a copyright? And who owns the copyright? Remember, authorship and ownership from episode 78, very, very key. Who owns it and who created the originality? There's interesting nuances. Human involvement. How much do people do? Let's compare Jason Allen, 624 prompts, editing and a background, which I know law doesn't matter, but if you're that highly skilled, that should impact the decision of whether your output is going to be better. Because I can say every major photographer, artist I've met who uses AI does things that people who never did those crafts, those arts could ever do. Because they know what type of film, they know what type of camera, they know the look, the lighting, they know how to make it look alike, they know painting, perspective, human anatomy if they're a painter. This is human involvement. Originality. Now, that's a huge question because we have this soup of content pulled in, but what's pulled out rarely looks anything like it, though it can be hacked. And yes, that can happen. But if you're doing such a detailed work to get out something that already exists, or are you doing a detailed work like Jason Allen to create something new? Intent should matter. So originality isn't just that the AI has all this. The argument that artists have to draw on that all the time, they copy people, their styles, it's not perfect, but there is a way to measure human involvement, again, like China, on a case by case basis. Legal work. Was this act done with people trying to fit within the law the best they could? In Tencent's case, they tried to take a look at these things before they put them into action. So whether they're right or not, we don't know yet. This is new. We need to be a little patient. But it makes so much sense to give an AI assisted copyright. Maybe make it different. Do things like make it shorter, give the duration a little bit less, give the protection in digital versus print versus using in films or something where real money is involved. Also, make it based on the amount of activity it creates. Because if we make ads from impressions, we can certainly monetize creators by the content that they create, the credits that they create for themselves. If nothing else, just an exchange of technology to use it. But what about AI apps creating it? Should an AI app get a copyright? That is an interesting thing because then we can't use copyright because it's not human. And no matter how much we argue, in the end of the day, it has to be human. And that, I think, is the problem. We now need to recognize collective intelligence because it is all human intelligence. To say it's non-human in AI, yeah, it broke down to tokens, but the original creations were all from us. And even if it makes up stuff, shouldn't it be able to copyright it? Originality. Is it output similar to somebody else's? Is there an economic impact on someone else? Those are the three things to keep in mind. The legal argument against copyright is the AI generated images are not human authorship and can't be granted a copyright. Hey, if the author selects roles and images and moving stuff around and parameters and prompts like that, doesn't even make sense. Is it sufficient originality? And what does that word even mean? Because it's not like there's not tons of copycat work that comes out of the Copyright Office. All right. So, yeah, it could be a horrible thing where all of our efforts go out there, content gets diluted. It gets so bad that even the AI gets worse because all the content is AI generated, supposedly. The fact is, we're sitting here on a new frontier, and while China is encouraging people to try, we're telling people no, and you better have deep pockets and lots of lawyers or we're going to sue you out of business because there's no way we can have a copyright because it was only when we only had humans. There's a new intelligence. Maybe it's super, maybe it's artificial, maybe it's collective intelligence, but it's here. And to deny copyright is to deny its existence. And while I don't want the creators to get away with this and have all their work stolen, no way. We should compensate them for moving that in. But when an artist like Jason Allen puts that much effort into it, creates this work, take a look at this again if you're watching. This is really good. This is not something that came in a few prompts. Even there, maybe a few prompts is all some really brilliant prompter needs to get that image. Depends on what they're going to be doing, and you could give copyrights at different levels for sale versus distribution on the internet. See, their solution, and all I want to say is you're all freaking out because DeepSeek created a GPT that's as good as what we have for less money, supposedly. China's creating a better system for people to be creative with AI. They've done it since 2018 with decisions in 2019, 2023. You don't even hear anyone talking about it. And these are the only granted AI copyrights in the world. And yes, they're small, but they're smart. Why aren't we in the West? Why do we want to keep fighting it? Oh yeah, because all the copyrights are owned by the money and the lawyers that are going to settle this in 5 or 10 years while the rest of us just sit on the sidelines. Hey everybody, let's copy China in this way. They are leading, and you don't really need to look too deeply into it. They're trying to do something different.